What would you do, Dan, if I made you czar of America with crypto? Because obviously we do need some regulation, but I'm personally skeptical of government regulation. It seems like they always get it wrong. And a lot of the magic could go away if they try to reel it in. So how do we preserve the magic but minimize a lot of the nasty stuff?
Well, you're right that in many cases when Congress is trying to regulate a form of tech, first they have to learn about it. First they have to be educated on it to understand it enough to regulate it. I mean, that's why you see, Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey testified before Congress, and they're basically some form of, let us help you regulate us. We'll show you how to regulate. It's kind of funny.
That was a shit show, Dan.
Totally. Now, what would I do? That's a great question, David. No one has asked me that. I mean, I would probably demand that the biggest crypto exchanges share their financials. If that means all of them going public, fine. Coinbase is now public. There's a company, Binance, which is actually the biggest crypto exchange in the world by volume. And Binance doesn't disclose where they're headquartered. They say they have no headquarters. And for a while, it looked like they were headquartered in the Caymans. For a while, it was the Seychelles. But both of those countries have come out and said, nope, Binance is not licensed to do business in our country. Well, so where is it based? And if you don't know where it's based, how can you regulate it? How can you say these are the rules that Binance has to follow? So Binance has been very adept at dodging regulation. I would probably move to make all the exchanges share and report their financials. That doesn't necessarily mean reporting all the info on all their customers, because what crypto purists hate the most is the idea that their info is going to be reported, because they say that defeats the whole proposition and idealism of crypto being outside government control. So you want a little bit more regulation. And then when it comes to, how the government approaches it, they need to monitor these ransomware attacks that usually ask for Bitcoin as payment. They are not doing enough to crack down on the ransomware. Of course, the problem is whenever the safeguards advance, so do the hackers. The bad actors appear to move more quickly than the good guys, so to speak. So there's a lot to be done in terms of cleaning up that aspect of it. But you'd also want to not have the government clamp down such that they're restricting innovation. I mean, don't get in the way too much of these companies and see the benefits and the value in fostering innovation in this space.
Yeah, but, banking, it's KYC, know your customer. You can't have it both ways. Either crypto is mainstream or it's not. Right? So I don't understand the demands of the community. Either you're going to institutionalize it or you're going to be illegitimate. There's no halfway point here. So either the exchanges have to practice what Chase Manhattan does, right?
Well, that's true. And it's not what crypto people want to hear. And honestly, it's going to be a great battle because, as I mentioned earlier, this is the tension between people who, I was at the Bitcoin Miami conference a couple months ago. Enormous. It was the biggest in-person Bitcoin conference ever. And of course, there were tons of funny t-shirts and signs to see. And one of the t-shirts I saw said, KYC and AML is the crime. And it's like, come on, guys. I mean, come on. There are people in crypto who, they think that KYC and AML is unjust. KYC being know your customer rules, anti-money laundering. But you're right. I mean, if crypto exchanges want to be banks, but for crypto, they're going to have to fall in line with this stuff. But of course, many of them won't. They would rather exist in the Binance-like limbo, where they're making big money and they have tons of customers. And it's customers, obviously, of a certain cloth who don't mind that they're not complying with government regulations. So when you say you can't have it halfway, well, that's why the landscape is going to be those who choose to go above ground and be buttoned up and be friendly with the regulators and comply, and then those who choose to not do that. And obviously, if you choose not to do that, you're going to be limiting yourself to crypto purists who don't mind that or who like that. That's the appeal to them. But there's going to be a real shaking out here. You're right. And will the government try to, and can it, go after the exchanges that don't comply and don't practice these safeguards? Hard to do if you don't know where their headquarters are or who's really behind it.